Here we go again in my race to fill the toy shelves behind me with favorite franchises made famous in the 1980s. I have a first for you and it's very exciting, so stick around. I am your Generation 1 host, Victor. This is PopCon, a salute to all pop culture, but mostly the 80s. Yeah, you know, you can't have the 80s without... That's right, Jem and the Holograms, the hottest band to grace the animation airwaves in the 1980s. You know, I do have some of the collection behind me. You may have snuck a peek at that, but I've never revealed one here on PopCon, so here we go. This we gotta check out. This is some pretty nice packaging, very solid, great design, and yes, very pink. And you know what? That's okay. So direct from my Christmas tree, it's Shayna Elmsford, the drummer turned bassist of Jem and the Holograms, the good girl group of this great and famous cartoon. Now, this is an original doll. Those original toys in the 80s of the Jem characters, they were, I don't want to say fugly, but they were relatively homely. And I wasn't the target audience, nor was I buying the merchandise for this, but I loved the show. This is a modern figure by Integrity Toys, and it's outrageous! Yep, I said it. Now, I promise not to say it again, but if I do let one slip, feel free to take a drink. So, I used to love the show. What was there not to like? I mean, you had a record company executive with an alter ego made by satellite projection holographic stuff with their supercomputer synergy, so it was right up my alley. Well, this is my first doll reveal on PopCon. She's going to join the others of the collection, and like them, she's limited edition, very expensive, so let's take a look to see what it's all about. The dynamic pink color scheme signifies this is a band member from Jem and the Holograms. The Misfits and the Stingers are green and yellow respectively. The plastic slipcover covers the vinyl LP, complete with grooves and center hole. Has a neat light truss design. The Starlight Music Company emblem goes over Shayna Elmsford's name, as well as in the corner very clearly tells you this is for an adult collector. The beautiful music aesthetic continues on the back side. Love this pink and black, and the bottom plastic includes more information about these limited editions. Celebrate the star style of music's first truly outrageous icons with Jem and the Hologram Collector Edition dolls. Dressed in awesome 80s fashion, they are always ready to make an impression wherever they go. It's showtime, Synergy. You know, I wonder if this, the record here, listen. I wonder if that will actually play on my turntable. You never know. Maybe there's a secret message in there. I mean, Jem's pretty saccharine sweet, but maybe if I play it backwards, you'll get...
Your mother sucks cocks in hell, Karen.
Yeah, well, we can only hope. For now, let's take a quick look at Shayna. Now, like I said, the box is really solid. It's actually very thick cardboard. Hold on a minute. There we go. All right, so off goes the cover. There she is inside. I will tell you that I've already untied her because she definitely had a lot of ties on the back and such. So here she is. She's actually beautifully sculpted. She has gorgeous features, and I'm going to just pop her right out to make it easy. She came with a little plastic bubble around her hair and head because there's a lot to protect here. These are limited edition, gorgeous crafted dolls with all of their the facial features, the posability, and of course the costumes themselves. So Shayna Elmsford, she is the African American in the band, and it was a very diverse band. There was an Asian character as well as a Hispanic one. So very, very diverse band, wasn't it? Of course, during the years of United Colors of Benetton too. So here she is. This outfit she's wearing is the original outfit that the first edition doll in the 80s came out with. So wanted to get this one specifically. So hold on a second there because I do want to show you that inside each of these boxes, under this panel here, is where you're going to find the other pieces. This is pretty neat because it comes with, let me pull this out. This might be a little bit easier, right? So there is a cable for her guitar to plug into her bass. And I do mean bass as in there is a bass for the doll stand. That is right here. There's the stick that goes on the bass that she could be propped up with. There's the pieces to prop up her on the bass. Here is her high-heeled shoes, a couple pair of extra hands because she has different hands to help play the guitar accessory there. So, and then finally she has her jewelry. This is a belt. It's actually her guitar strap, sorry, and her earrings, which you gotta punch in. So, shall we take a better look? Let's put her on the carousel. Let's get it on. A whopping 12 inches of fashion doll. Shayna came out in 2013 from Integrity Toys, was a limited edition of 1,000. Among her accessories are her earrings and her guitar strap. Those earrings have to be shoved into her plastic skull very hard. She also comes with her bright, beautiful silver jacket for on stage with spiked epaulets, and she also comes with her pumps, which I put on earlier. I should probably pull up those tights or she'll look like an old lady. This guitar here is a little funny because it's a great looking guitar, but she's the bass player, so it isn't a bass guitar, but it does come with an audio cable that goes from the guitar to the base of her stand, which, as you know, is where all audio comes from. Now, she comes with alternate hands. She needs to hold and to strum that guitar as well. So these hands are easy to remove and put in, and there are 2 of them. Also, the stand comes in 2 different ways, the kind that can go around her waist and the one that can go up under her dress, which is the one she's on. Inside the box, you'll find instructions for the bass in her hands and some other things, as well as the certificate of authenticity that's a limited edition from Integrity Toys. Now, let's take a look at her overall 80s-ness. So look, if you're not seeing the obvious Whitney Houston look-alike here in Shayna, then you're not 80s enough. Her wardrobe is a rock version of the typical tank top dress of the time, using design elements of the cinching and bunching of that material in a lot of 80s dresses in the period. Now, this is where I think the dolls, this aesthetic might be a bit more modern than the actual 80s clothes, because it's a little bit more tapered, a little bit more form-fitting than it would have been probably in the 80s. And nowhere is that more true, actually, than in the jacket. This beautiful jacket, probably a silver, a vinyl or something with these epaulets, is very similar to something you'd see in the 80s. So here she is having it on, but it brings its inspiration from this kind of jacket in the 80s. This even has like a fringe design on the shoulder pads, and it's kind of an oversized man's jacket, but takes some inspiration from a shiny, disco-y modern jacket because it's a little more form-fitting. So I think for this doll's aesthetic, although it has that 80s fashion, at the same time, it's still a now. Now, Shayna's got to get ready to rock, so you can alternate these hands very easily, popping them out at the wrist, putting them back in, so she's got that overall stage look like right now, all plugged in and ready to go. Here she is in action, rocking to her favorite hologram tunes. This doll's hair is much longer than the animation model, and I love it. Very lavender, very curly, but I'd love it to have the style that was in the show, but what do I look like, a cosmetologist? All right, the last thing I'm going to point out about this look and all the Jem and the Holograms characters, besides their multicolored hair, which we all got used to with these bold 80s style, was the face makeup. It seemed like this feminine version of Kiss. They all had either lightning bolts or dots or triangles, very geometrical shapes, and it worked at the time. Sharing the new pieces I get and adding to my collection really inspires me to get to my end goal. And yes, there is an end goal for this toy shelf. You know how else you guys could inspire me? Well, I'll let Jem tell you in person.
I watched this great video, but don't remember the name of it.
Didn't you subscribe to the channel?
Subscribing is the best thing you can do. Commenting is awesome.
Subscribing
Means you support the creator's content.
It was mostly about 80s pop culture.
That was probably PopCon. It's outrageous.
Okay, I'll go subscribe right away.
Remember, subscribing to PopCon makes you a superstar.
Now for my favorite part, the comparison. I collect select representations of my favorite IPs. Not until now, with modern design and tooling, can we get what we envisioned we were going to get, what we were promised by both the TV show and the box artwork by the talented Sharon Nettles. The show was out in October of '85, and we saw this. And when the doll was released in March of '86, the outside showed this gorgeous picture of what was within. But when you open the package, oh my God, you got this! Even Shayna is terrified. Barbie had nothing to worry about, but still, she did what she could to take Jem out in less than 3 years. Even so, Barbie didn't have the media or the catchy songs. 151 original songs on cassette sold with all these dolls. With such a niche and a gimmick, Jem's legacy lives today. Some of you may remember a Honda Holidays commercial from 2015 or 2016 that used some classic 80s toys. Skeletor, He-Man, Gumby, Strawberry Shortcake, and G.I. Joe. There was even one with Jem. But in that commercial, they didn't use the original Jem doll. They used this modern version from Integrity Toys, and probably a good idea, because G.I. Joe, who was featured in the same ad, probably wouldn't have bothered with the hot mess from the 80s. Also, it was probably showing that that was their intention for the doll, and it makes a perfect addition to my representation of a favorite franchise. I always was a huge fan of the box art on the original packaging of the dolls. They were much more interesting and dynamic than the pieces inside, but these figures finally do that art and the characters justice. Speaking of art, check out these Jem-related pieces from Collection 82, our sister brand of graphic design and illustration by yours truly. That's right, mashups and 80s inspired art by me. Click the link in the description to get my thing on your thing. All right, remember to subscribe. I got a lot more coming your way. Until next time. Show's over, Synergy.